This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And pretty soon it's just going to be Ed Ryan if it she keeps acting the way she's acting. And it's episode number 147, ladies and gentlemen, and we're broadcasting live from Peach Time Out on Fort Myers Beach in the state of Florida, a free state in this United States of America where you're allowed to be free and walk about and not wear a mask in your house.
Yeah, and you can scream at people. You are so loud right now.
There, it's called exciting. It's called being happy to be here next to you and next to Karen and amongst all these
we know
free
half of that
Americans.
And
you folks, remember to share this page with your friends and your enemies and your neighbors and everybody you know, just to jack up the numbers so we can tell the advertisers that's a real number there. And subscribe to our YouTube page because, you know, we have a YouTube page too, because it seems like people are jumping off Facebook and Twitter like there's no tomorrow. And so jump on the YouTube until they ban us from the YouTube too. And then who knows where we'll go. We'll just be a podcast at some point. We want to say thank you to all of our lovely sponsors. They've become good friends of ours. Well, mostly mine, because my wife really doesn't get out of the house much. She just likes to show up 15 minutes before the show starts and then make it look like she does a lot of work for the show.
I'm the fluffer at the end. I do all the details.
You want to know what the detail that she spent most of the time on before the show? Putting lipstick on, so her mom didn't complain she didn't have lipstick
and getting
on.
fuzz off your beard.
That's right.
Let's be honest.
That was you, Karen, and I appreciate you saying I have a beard and not peach fuzz, but she didn't say anything about it, although it'd be blue
I thought it would be
spots
funny
on my
Smurf.
face.
Smurf.
If you don't interrupt me during the sponsors, it's very important.
We love the sweatshirts.
Yes. Island Oils, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, Nervous Nellies, Margaritas, Wave of Vitality, State Insurance USA, Sun Palace Vacations, and Bob Oakes from Sun Palace will be our second guest today at 9:30. We have so much to talk about today because, you know, storming the Capitol is just something you have to talk about when it happens. It doesn't happen every week, you know. It happens maybe once in a lifetime. And we're going to talk about that at 10 o'clock. And don't let me forget La Ola Restaurant and Tuckaway Cafe and Blue Ribbon Events and our two newest sponsors, Sanibel Carts and Beach Pottery. Sanibel Carts last night, we were all there.
So much fun. I got a great picture of the ribbon cutting. Lots of people there. They are fantastic people. We had a lot of fun last night.
It was great. Yep. It was really good.
And it
Over
was
at Sunsets.
Yep.
Right. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Sometimes she just assumes the audience knows where we were.
I was getting there. I
just didn't want to be followed. We can talk about it this morning.
Yes. We were at Sunset Grill. Oh my gosh. Being able to go out in the back of the Sunset Grill and see the ocean waves and the people out there and the sunset and all the loveliness is just a fine.
He says to me on the way down, "Oh, yay, we're going to be able to see sunrise." And I'm like,
come on.
Well,
you know I was
not
joking.
Unless we're going to stay overnight.
So what were we saying yesterday about how you always think that you're protecting me from people that are dragging me down? And I said, no. You do a fine enough job of dragging me down. You don't need anybody helping. Here you go. We're 4 minutes into the show and you already had to stab me in the back. It's like I feel like Mike Pence.
Are your feelings hurt?
No,
it's a beautiful marriage. It's how they work.
This is how it works.
And I didn't lose my place. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter, everybody. You'll get that every Tuesday and Friday right before 7 o'clock. And you can do that by going to our news page. What's the website address, dear?
A lot of work for me.
The last time she put a story on the page was, the Ali Frazier fight.
No,
that was the last time you put a story on the page. And that's Fort Myers. No, it's not Fort Myers. What is it? It's beachtalkradionews.com.
See?
Your dad's
You were going to say Fort Myers Fitness?
No. Oh, wow. I haven't said that in a while.
I thought that's where you were going.
And Karen, you are here for a specific reason. And stop rushing us, Karen. We will get to you in a minute.
I'm fine. I am happy to sit here advertising.
I know. I love that.
That is your friends advertising.
Right. We've stayed there a couple of times. We love it there. It's like 150 feet from the beach. It's beachtalkradionews.com. A box will pop up. and you'll be able to register for our headlines. And later in the show, we are going to talk about everything that went on with Stu from his politically, what is it called? Politically correct show, or politically incorrect show, or something like that. He'll tell us what it is. And he's visiting here on Fort Myers Beach with his family, his 2 lovely kids. And we always like to have the boys on every year they come down. They've been on the last 2 years. For anybody that has some history with the show, that was when we were outside, but that's a whole different story. Ladies and gentlemen, Karen Woodson joins the show, and the crowd, the artificial crowd. This is the same artificial crowd that you hear at NFL games these days. Yes,
yeah,
so there you go. They just pass it around. So Karen Woodson is a long-standing member of the Fort Myers Beach community, and she serves on 72 boards. I don't know how she spreads her time out.
That's not true.
But you do serve on more than one. 3 boards. 3. What are the boards that you serve on?
So I am on BORCAB, which is Bay Oaks Recreation. I am on Friends of the Arts, and also FOLKS, which is Friends of Lovers Key, the state park.
There are a lot of friends down here.
There's a lot of friends.
Yeah, it does seem like everything has its friends organization, like Friends of Matanzas. There's a lot of them, right?
Well, it depends
Friends
on
of the
how
library.
Well, if they're governmental, any kind of government association, then they cannot do any kind of fundraising or anything like that. So then they have to have
Friends,
a subsidiary group. They have to have friends that can manage all that for them.
We should start a Friends of Beach Talk Radio.
I know, but we're not a public thing, and we have friends
every
that
angle
us.
we can to get money. We'll just create a Friends of Kimberly Ryan Fund. You'd have
There you go.
how many members you think you
It
could
would
sign
get a
up
lot
to
more
that?
probably than Ed Ryan.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh, see,
Karen's
she's jumping on the
Karen's in the Bash Ed Club. That's all
We
right.
have to stick together.
You have to have feelings in order for them to be heard. But anyway, enough about me. Let's get back to you, Karen. The main reason you're here is we have a big meeting coming up on Monday.
We do.
It's about time, first of all, that the town council gets back to work. So it's not just I'll leave that to later when we talk about things. I don't want to put you in the middle of anything, but the town council gets back to work on Monday, finally, after a vacation in December, it seems. And before their regular meeting, which is pushed back to 10 o'clock, there's a meeting with the committee that has been working on the Bay Oaks redevelopment project for years, 2 years at least, correct?
2 years at least that I know of, yes.
And the committee
Probably
is
3.
The committee is made up of some fabulous community people. Betty Simpson is the chair, and Barbara Hill is the vice chair, and Lee Melsek is on the committee, and Holly.
Jana Holmes.
Now, if you want to go back to listen to some of the Bay Oaks committee meetings, you might have a little rough time. You have to learn how to lip sync or read people's voice from the back of their head because of the sound system there. But again, that's a whole nother story. They had a meeting last week where, once again, we're trying to figure out where we are with the project. And Karen, now where I think we are, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is the town manager has pitched to the council a $5 million-ish project, which is way smaller than the bigger project that the committee worked on for years and approved. And so tell us where we are in your own words, not mine.
Right. So,
well, as soon as you shut up for a minute.
So you asked how long we've been working on it. So it started, my understanding, I wasn't on the board until January of 2020, but my understanding is it started back in 18, even with discussions and that type of thing. Dan Allers was actually on BORCAB at the time, and now he's town council. So he's our liaison, if you will, with the town council. But it started in 18 with ideas of, it needed a fresh look. It needed a fresh start. Very few people even knew where it was. The gymnasium is like 12 years old or something like that. The courts on the tennis courts needed upgrading. So all these big plans started coming in, and they each developed their own. It then came to the town council, I think, originally with just thoughts and ideas and paper sketches and that type of thing. And then there was I want to say April or May, June, somewhere in there of 2019, we had a huge meeting of all people that would be affected. So The Chamber of Commerce was there. The Little League was there to represent them.
The school
was there. Lee County was there. Everyone to get their input on, do you support this? Number one. And the answer was absolutely yes. What would you like to see? And the Little League especially had some real prominent things. They wanted to keep 2 ball fields. They needed the ball fields upgraded, that type of thing. We needed a new fitness center. We needed to separate the fitness center from what I'll call the social center, because people like the card club or some of these other clubs that they have were like meeting in the middle of the gymnasium and then trying to jiggle schedules with the elementary school for their gym time. And it's just too small. It's way too small. So we got the buy-in in 19, and then we started seriously working with architects and really seeing what we could do. The vision.
And working with the county and the school district to get that land too.
Oh, that was a huge thing. And I will say that
that was a big meeting, and
yeah. Roger did some really good work there in negotiating and getting Lee County on board to give us land. Also, the school board to work in partnership with us and give us land so that we actually had the land surrounding us that we wanted to make this outdoor trail and this fitness trail and an amphitheater. That's a huge one. Yeah. So what you just pulled up there, Ed, is the vision that BORCAB had after going through many, many renditions. And we wanted to look at this as a phased approach. We knew there wasn't enough money to get this all done at one time. That was made very clear to us from the beginning, but they also said dream big.
Yep.
And if you could do this in different phases, and if it could be a 8 to 10 year plan, what would we look like and where would you start and that type of thing.
So this, for folks that are watching at home and can see the visual there on our page there, it is on the website. It's the first story on the website, Beach Talk Radio News. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can see that this is the original plan that the committee came up with after all the work they put in of how to, this is the Cadillac right here.
We wanted submitted to the town council.
That the committee wanted to bring to the town
Correct.
council. Okay.
With the 2 fields, because there was another plan with one bigger field with multi-use, but this was the plan
with 2 fields. And that was a real request by the Little League to have to continue to have the 2 fields because of the age groups and differences with the kids.
Right.
But one of them was moved to create parking on the left. And so we were moving that. And then we also thought at some point we could have an amphitheater at the end of one field where you could use the outdoor field as seating.
Right.
Facing the separate standalone amphitheater for concerts and that type of thing.
So tell us what else you guys have come up with here, because there's a whole bunch of different moving parts on this.
Okay. So if you go down to the very front bottom right there.
Yep.
So originally there are 3 buildings coming in, and this is coming off of Estero Boulevard where the little sign is that says Bay Oaks Recreation. So the idea was to have kind of a welcome center.
Right.
And then the building behind that would be the administration building, which would house also what we were calling the soft recreation or the quiet recreation. So that would be your cooking classes,
the cultural
your
stuff.
Cultural things, your card groups, your bingo groups, or whatever it may be. Then the next building would coincide with the pool and that facility, and that would be for your recreational. So that's your fitness classes, it's your weightlifting, it's things that go boom and make noise so that we're not interfering with the administration building. So we had originally 3 separate buildings.
Right.
If there was one that we knew all the way along that we would give up, would be that welcome center,
right?
The very first building. So that would take out, I don't know how many millions of taking the welcome center out. But then for sure to have the administration building, we had big plans for that, and even an outdoor upper level deck that could be rented out for events and weddings and parties, that type of thing. And then the third building being our new rec center.
So after all of that, what happened to that presentation? Like, how did it did it ever get to the council, or did it not ever make it to the council?
No.
Okay.
And it's actually, the council is probably going to, well, I can't say see it for the first time, but it will be presented by us to the council on Monday for the first time. Because we don't know exactly how it all came about, but all of a sudden at our September or October BORCAB meeting, there was a whole different plan that was given to us that had already been presented to the council.
So I pulled up here exactly what you're talking about. So after what we just showed you with all those different aspects to the bigger plan, what the council wound up being pitched was this, which is approximately 5.5 million. Although my understanding is it's still over budget.
They're saying it's more, but the architects are saying it's going to be more. But
it's one field, one building with an attached amphitheater, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so that's where the whole disconnect happened. Where you guys started to get upset. The committee started to get upset with Roger because. Basically, you can correct me if I'm wrong along the way. I'm not trying to stir trouble. I just want to make sure, not on this issue anyway. I just want to make sure I get the facts straight. He went to the council without coming to you guys first and saying, I'm going to show them the $5.5 million because that's all we have the money for.
Correct.
So take us through that.
So we came into our BORCAB meeting and we're all looking at this plan that was submitted and we're like, what is this? We had no idea. We hadn't seen it. We hadn't talked about it. So my understanding is Roger had worked with actually Sarah Mayer from the rec center. And I mean, in a nutshell, they tried to bring in everything into one building that the rec center actually needed. But it took it from, I don't know, let's say, I'm making these numbers up because I don't have them exactly, but let's say it took them from 3 buildings and this whole campus to about 12,000 square feet.
Right. I think it was 13, but
13,000.
Yeah,
okay. 13,000 square feet, which is not even close to what we were looking for.
Right.
It had everything again combined in the same building. Which was the noise factor, we're too small a space, running out of room. They still had the old gym in the plan, which that's fine if the old gym doesn't get worked on right away. But the old gym, from my understanding, is falling down.
Right.
I mean,
that building is not in great shape.
The foundation is cracking. We can't keep it. They said when they built it, it had like a 20-year longevity. And I think we're at year 12 or 13 or something like that. So anyway, but the biggest thing was, we weren't consulted. We had done all this work for over 2 years and all of a sudden just kind of blindsided by the fact that what is this new plan? We have no idea.
And when the plan was pitched to the council, I think they were kind of leaning toward this looks like something we want, or we're going to go with because the town manager recommended it. The staff seemed to recommend it. And then I don't know, somebody must have whispered in somebody's ear or something they must have heard. And Jim Matterholt said, wait a second, put the brakes on here. We need to have a meeting. And that's what happened. That's what's happening on Monday.
Well, there were a number of us that addressed the council individually by email, by phone, that said, this is not what we presented. And you really haven't seen what we presented. And, oh, by the way, we don't expect this to be done in one full swoop. We're willing to do this in phases, but we want something that is substantial, something really welcoming for our island, something people will use and be proud of. And that just didn't happen.
I mean,
are you, just point of clarification. So are you saying that the council has not seen the original plan that you guys came up with that DRMP presented?
No, they have seen it.
Okay,
They've seen it, but it wasn't presented as this was what we want.
Okay. Okay.
they've seen it.
They've
It's
seen
one
it.
of the
Right.
renditions.
It wasn't presented the way the smaller
Right,
one
Right.
was.
Right.
So, the one of the questions I want to what the committee wound up saying about this other plan, which is the other thing that makes me feel like you guys are so far apart, is it was almost like a unanimous motion to call this latest plan half-assed. And I know those words were used,
Yes,
and I'm not
they
sure
were used.
I'm not saying Betty Simpson said that. She
No,
might not have,
no, I
because I
don't
don't
think
think I've
Betty
ever
said
said
that.
anything like that.
No,
but
I don't think so.
But
But others did.
okay. And now, how is it that the communication is so off? I mean, it doesn't compute with me. How is it that
Well,
can happen?
It didn't compute to any of us. And so at the BORCAB meeting that we actually saw this plan for the first time that was presented to the council, we asked Roger to come in to the meeting and said, where did this come from? And so he had said that, he worked with Sarah and he worked with Allison from Bay Oaks, and this is what they came up with, and the architects, and this is what could fit in. But he kept then try to backpedal and say, well, this isn't done yet. This isn't done yet. It's like, well, how can you say it's not done yet? Because you've already submitted it. So that's when the whole concept of we want to meet with the town council. We want to have our say.
Mm-hmm.
We want to take this a fresh approach and show them what we really were talking about and looking at all the phases and that type of thing. So that's kind of where it started. And that's when Roger told us we were already over budget with the 5.5 million.
Obviously you don't have to respond to this, but I kind of felt like you guys, he was given the impression off in the meeting, at least the parts that I could hear through the sound system, that you were completely wasting his time and that it was a pain in his ass to actually have to come into that room and talk to you. And then, Lee Melsek is he can be outspoken.
Yes.
And it just seemed like it was going to be a war of words between the two of them. And then toward the end of the meeting, Roger started to soften up like, okay, well, it's not the end of the thing. It's not. And meanwhile, all these consultants and all these designers keep just pocketing all the taxpayers' money in this town, whether it's with that project or the Bayside project. It's just like, okay, we got to go back to the drawing board because our town manager can't communicate with people enough to get on the same page. And okay, you don't have to say anything. That was just a statement. And everybody knows how I feel. But so what do you want the residents to do Monday when this whole meeting comes together? I mean, if we're going to carry the meeting live on the Facebook and the YouTube, and they'll probably only hear every third word, but can they come to town hall? Do you want them to come to town hall? And I know I'm not joking about the sound system because
you're not joking. It's horrible.
It's
the sound
18 months
system
later,
is horrible.
and it's almost as if the town manager does not want the residents to hear what's going on, because the minute one of the meeting starts,
that is true.
He's getting paid over $200,000 and he can't figure out how to make microphones work so that the residents can actually hear what's going on. But I digress.
Well,
what do you want?
Let me just comment on that for 1 second, because not only you were trying to listen to our BORCAB meeting last week, but Dan Allers, who's our liaison, he was trying to listen and he couldn't hear anything either. I mean, every once in a while he would get a snippet. So I think he went directly now to our town manager, Roger, and is like, we got to do something. And I mean, it's been over and over this, but I think maybe we'll move forward on the sound system. I'm not sure. I'm putting words in everybody's mouth, but I'm hoping, because that's an issue.
Especially during, these
These are public meetings.
Right. And you don't want hordes of people coming down there, but they will if they can't hear.
Right.
So especially under the current system that we're living under, you want it to be able to. Now you're going to interrupt me. You talk for 20 minutes.
I know. I'm very talkative today. Last weekend, you monopolized the whole show. And New Year's Eve, you were a big deal over there next door with your hair flowing and all that. And so just a little tip before the meeting starts. Test 1 2, test 1 2. We do it every weekend. It's not that big a deal.
That I don't know what it is, but it cuts in and it cuts out, and it makes it impossible to quote people accurately and to know what's actually going on unless you're sitting there.
Well, and it doesn't leave room for discussion, because what happens is when one person is talking, all the other mics are off. So if one person is talking but another person is wrestling paper,
Right.
the paper shuts down the mics too.
I think they
So-
purposely shut off Lee's microphone last week. Just, I'm just saying. I'm just guessing there. It's just a guess there. So, did you answer the question about
No,
the
we did
residents?
not ask
Sorry.
the question,
Dear, stop
so-
interrupting her, for crying out loud. Let her get an answer out. Jeez.
Okay, so what we would like. So we know that this whole new project is supported by the chamber, it's supported by the school, it's supported by Lee County, because they all were instrumental in bringing their pieces together. And what we really need is for the people of the island to really come and talk. So the 9 to 10 meeting is not open to public comment, but starting at 10 o'clock, which is the normal council meeting, that will be
That's
open
right.
to public comment.
right.
So people can be there, they can show up, they can sign up to talk, they can, we really don't know what we'll find, because from last summer to now, we have not had another open session for all the parties involved, and we really would like to get that done too. But we just really want people, if you support this, you need to show up. You need to get either email the town council, write your letters, call them, or show up at the meeting on Monday at 10 and get your voice heard.
So, on the meeting thing, for those of you that don't go to the meetings or can't go to the meetings or are watching from out of town and come down and use the facility, we carry the meetings on Facebook. If you watch the meeting on YouTube, you can't comment on it. But if you watch the meeting on our and I'm not trying to push our Facebook page, but what I'm trying to say is you can watch it on our Facebook page. You can make comments. And I'm telling you that the council probably, I know some of them read the comments after they're done with the meeting. And I'm not saying you have to say anything nasty or anything. I'm just saying put your comments there and they'll see them during that 9 o'clock meeting. And then if you want to make comments during the 10 o'clock meeting and go to the meeting, you have 3 minutes to make your comments at the 10 o'clock
over the
meeting.
weekend, if you want to address the town council, I mean, you can send them emails. You can find all their emails online under the town council website. You can address each one of them individually or as a group. If you want to get your word in before that, so they actually might see it before the meeting. So we're just reaching out for all the positive support that we can possibly get.
Now, Karen, the big question is, this is a big project. It's a 15 to 20 million.
You stole my question.
Here,
Go
listen,
ahead.
It's a 15 to 20 million dollar project. There's a possibility that if that project is the one that's chosen, that there could be a call for a referendum and taxes being raised as one way to fund some of it.
As one way.
Do you believe that enough people in the community, A, use the facility, and B, would vote for a tax increase specifically for Bay Oaks?
Well, I think if they realized that that wasn't the only option to get the money, we do have a group called Friends of Bay Oaks. It's not very active right now, but we want to get that reactivated because it's the Friends of Bay Oaks that could actually help us with fundraising and grant writing and that type of thing. It's just like the Friends of Lovers Key,
right?
With Lovers Key State Park. I mean, we just had a $10 million building built, and the state built the building, but now it's up to Friends of Lovers Key to finish off the interior with all the exhibits and the education and that type of thing. And we're fundraising for that. We're grant writing for that. We've got great donors coming forward, and I think the same thing could happen.
But go ahead.
But also, there's other stakeholders in this project,
Right?
Like Little League.
Yep.
They can generate a lot of
Yes, they can.
fundraising. They're all about it.
Yes,
so
they
there's
can.
There's that option. There's the option of phasing it in, which I think
Yes.
that is what your
That's
whole
a huge.
point is.
That's a huge piece
so
of it.
that-
We don't need to do this all at once.
Right.
We can phase it in over the next 5, 7, 10 years, whatever we need to do.
But
The
you
i-
want to get what you want rather than
Right.
short sight it now
Right.
and then have to add something
I
later.
think-
Because we're going to be out of that building again. The one that Roger put forward. I mean, I think we'll be out of that building again in the next 5 to 7 years.
The half-assed one?
Yeah, the
smaller one.
smaller one, the one building with no.
So the
The mini-me one.
you brought
The
up
mini-me.
you brought up the Lover's Key. a little bit different because it's a state park. I think
True.
Debbie was telling us it's like one of the highest used state parks
Yeah, it's like-
in the
I think
state.
I think
it's
second
third
or
or-
third.
yeah,
third,
yeah.
third.
So Bill Veach, Councilman Veach, has said that one of his concerns, I think, was that the usage numbers at Bay Oaks. And do you think that, I know it could be a chicken and egg thing too, if it's a nice bigger building that actually people can see or know where to go.
Remember
might
that
get more
movie?
use.
If you build it, they will come.
Right.
Yeah.
If they know
Yeah.
it's there and it's a brand new state of the art facility, they will come.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
look at all the new clubs that
Look
have
at
been
the
built
library.
around town. Look
Right,
at the library.
Right. So
yeah,
is that,
exactly. They fought for that. They got what they wanted, and that is in
And-
use all the time. All the time.
so let's say on Monday, the council kind of leans your way. We've wasted all the money on the design and all that, which is not your fault. And certainly the committee was moving forward on the think big. It wasn't think big, was it? Yeah, it was think big
It
or
was
something
think
like
big.
that.
It was think big,
and the
dream
thing-
big.
And the thing that Councilman Hossafras really irked me when she said, we tell everybody to think big. And sometimes, it's not, you don't take it literally like you're going to get everything you want. Well, if you tell people to think big, yeah, that's what you're telling them to do.
Right.
What? So
Well,
think big and get small? I
here's
mean,
the
what is
thing, though,
that? That doesn't
is-
make any sense.
But here's the thing. They did think big, and
Yes.
now they're, one of the things you brought up was that the Welcome Center might be something that is negotiable on.
We
And
can
so
totally let the
that's
Welcome
a
Center
think
go.
big thing, and then we're going to scale back here.
Right.
That's
Why-
a whole building.
why
But
won't-
take away.
The whole thing about think big, but then not even be considered
exactly.
when they pull the rug out from
Right.
under you and present a totally different concept that one was ever discussed with us.
So when, what was I going to say?
Well, I was going to bring up, and I know there's a member on your board that's not a fan of this idea, but there are, someone had mentioned way back about that people might want to do naming rights for buildings. That would be
Exactly.
a way to generate.
Who's not a fan of that?
I think it's Mr. Melsick, right?
No, I think he was a fan of all kinds of fundraising,
he,
wasn't he?
He misunderstood what naming rights were until we talked to
Okay.
him. He was
Okay.
thinking
He didn't want like big companies coming
exactly.
in,
He didn't want corporations to
right?
have
Like
naming
Hertz
rights.
coming in and
Why not?
spraying it yellow.
Because
well, I
he
don't know.
likes
Isn't the money
history
green?
and the
Oh, okay.
and the
Yeah.
Well, you could do
quirkiness
like
of
this is the commercial
island
side, and
and, yeah.
this is the history
but
side.
there could be individuals.
There
who-
could be individuals, there could be marinas, there could be environmentalists, there could be all kinds of groups and 501c3s and everything that come together to do this. They don't have to be. He immediately went to like Burger King and McDonald's and
Yeah.
was like, we're not talking about those people.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
You know.
So, there's a possibility that they could lean your way, but what that also mean was be like you're kind of going back to the drawing board, right? I mean,
no,
is that
Chad.
what that
no,
means? I
I
mean,
don't think
what happens next?
Well, I don't think we'd be going back to the original drawing board, but what we do need to decide and come up with is our understanding right now is we have $5.5 million. So whatever that first phase would be has to come in at 5.5. Now, we also understand that there's some excess money that has come off of Bayside Park and has come off of maybe possibly Times Square. I'm not sure about that. We're just trying to find out what is that maximum total that we
Right.
would have for phase one. And then we go on for phase two. But you build phase one with the idea that it's going to carry on into other
Okay.
phases.
Do you-
The building that
I
was
hear what you're
proposed,
saying.
there's no.
Do you
build-up.
understand how silly it sounds that you don't know? The committee doesn't know what the budget is. The committee's never been told what the budget is. The committee's never been told, okay, we can do this with 5 million. That's
Oh, you mean like actually in the build out?
like the committee is not allowed to have DRMP come in because it costs money for them to draw.
Exactly. Yeah.
That whole thing was like, it was almost like I'm doing it
Right.
and you guys just do whatever you do in your little committee
Well,
meeting.
That's actually on the agenda that was submitted to the town council for Monday is like, we need to know so that we have the ability to make smart trades, to make smart moves
Right.
in these phases.
Right.
We don't know that. We just get this lump sum, but we don't know if the sound system that we added was, $1 million, or
Right.
should it only be 250,000? We have no idea.
So tomorrow, Monday,
I know,
rather,
it's a lot.
do we miss anything for Monday that you want people to know or get involved
I don't
or,
think so.
or
I mean,
support the committee? And I mean,
Yeah.
really, if you're a friend of Bay Oaks or a fan of Bay Oaks or you use it, you really should be paying attention Monday at 9:00. If not for any other reason, but understand the process that this committee has gone
Right.
through and
Right.
and all the time they put into this. And maybe they don't get a $20 million Bay Oaks, or they get a 15 or a 12, but
let us decide that as a group,
Right.
as an organization with the town council. Let us put it into phases to at least have some hope of getting some semblance of state of the art for the island.
Mhm.
And I still go with, if you build it, they will come.
And someone was asking, and I think the answer is yes. I think we did talk about you can attend the meeting in person. You just need to come at 10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock. It's not open
10
to the
o'clock,
public
Carol.
at 9.
I don't think that's correct. I
No?
don't think
Really?
you're allowed to have a meeting with all the council that's closed. I don't-
No.
No.
You just can't comment. Yeah,
You
they
can't
can go
comment.
to the meeting.
Oh.
Go to the meeting.
Yeah, you can
Well,
be in
I'm
the
thinking
I don't
if
know
she
what
wants
the
to go, she's
The
going to
pub-
want to comment,
The public
right?
Yeah.
comment once comes at 10.
Right. If you go at 9, you're just going to be, you'll probably be able to
Mhm.
hear better than the rest of us because you'll
Mhm.
be there in person, and
Yeah.
the sound system, as you may have heard us talk about, doesn't work very well. But you can listen to the meeting as it's
Mhm.
going on in the building, but you can't comment until 10. And that might be
Right.
fine. You might want to comment at 10 if you go to
and
the
you'll
meeting
be
at
able
9.
to listen to everything that we propose and what the town council has to say, and then that'll give you a better idea and understanding of what to comment on. Be sure to wear your mask.
Yeah. By the
Always do
way,
that.
numbers works. You find out
Yeah.
what happened with Bayside Park when that thing tried to get railroaded
Right,
by Roger
exactly.
and his team. And so, if you organize and you want to show up and support Bay Oaks, then it would be a good idea to go at 9 and comment at 10. And then,
That way you would get a full understanding of where we're coming from, what the council is saying, and what could possibly generate next steps.
Karen, thank you so much. You're awesome, and your
Yes,
committee is awesome. We
you.
love the committee, and I wish I could hear the whole committee meeting because I know you guys do great work. But that's
Just not going to let it go.
when is your next committee meeting after that?
We always meet the first Tuesday of every month. So what is that, the 2nd?
Sweet,
So February 2nd.
great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Karen Woodson, everybody. And join us on
you.
Monday. If you can't go, you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube. So there's Karen. Again, she's getting a big hand from the artificial crowd that you'll hear at all the NFL games today. And
Perfect.
all right, dear,
All
you're
right.
up. Thanks, Karen.
I'm
Have a
up.
great
Do I
weekend.
have to stand up?
You have to stand up, and I'm going to switch the camera. That's
right.
that's the music for the first commercial. And are you ready,
Never.
wife? Take it away. Back up 2 steps. There you go. And your hair is looking lovely. Take it away.
I'm gonna
and
see how my hair is blowing
our
in the
first
wind.
sponsor
You too
today,
could be having your hair blown in the wind by taking on
heater.
a tiki tour.
our first sponsor, the first
can go
segment of
with
the
a-
show.
Are you interrupting me? A U.S. registered Coast Guard who will take you around the bay in a cute little tiki boat. You can have your picture taken by lots of onlookers who will be so jealous of you. Yes, so jealous of you on your tiki tour. They seat up to 6 people. You can bring whatever adult beverages or non-adult beverages that you want, and they will provide a cooler and ice. You can give them a call at 239-887-0042. They offer sunset tours, dolphin cruises. You can go for your birthday party, anniversary cruise. Maybe someone wants to get engaged. That would be cool. Just sightseeing, team building. So somebody from work could take you out. We went out for Father's Day. It was a super lot of fun. They don't go fast, so you're kind of just cruising along. And it's very safe. It's very fun. Let's see. They are at the marina. It's at Salty Sam's Marina. That's where you can pick up the tour. I have to get out of the heat. It's actually a little too much. And anyways, you could go to FortMyersTikiTours.com. And again, it's 239-887-0042. Please give those guys a call. They have been a very long time supporter of the show. They do a great job. The Coast Guard captains are amazing. They're very funny. They're very entertaining. They know a lot about the local area. They'll take you in and out. You can see lots of amazing things out there. Thank you so much for coming back. He has to take a bathroom break. Now, I will say there are not bathrooms on the boats. So you need to use the restroom at Salty Sam's Marina before you get on the boat.
Very nice job, dear. Very nice job. Very nice. I think your next assignment is to grab our second guest as they turn the microphone around. And you know what the strange thing is that when we did the New Year's Eve show from Margaritas, I went the whole 2 hours without having to take one single I don't think I went to the bathroom once during that show, did I? And now, half hour into the show, got to take a bathroom break. That's called old age, everybody. Old age. Someday it's going to hit us all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you recognize this gentleman here, but his name is Bob Oakes. Bob, welcome to the show. I don't know what she's doing. Oh, she's keeping you safe from all of our previous guests. Bob Oakes is our next guest. Are you ready, dear? Are you ready? Come on. We're almost good at that. Your transition was almost perfect.
Is you ask me. Can you hear me?
Yes, everybody can hear you, dear.
So
loud and clear.
You ask me to do the ad, and then you go to the bathroom.
Yeah, so you're supposed to stretch it out. You're supposed to stretch it out.
I know, but I have to change the mic.
Oh, you see, we're keeping everybody safe here.
Everybody safe.
Dear, focus on the guest and not yourself.
Sorry.
Bob Oakes from
Welcome to the show.
Sun Palace Vacations. Bob, how are you?
Please don't run away.
No, I'm a loyal fan and listener.
What is wrong with you, Bob?
I'm one of those 6 people.
No,
right,
9, Bob.
Right.
You're not really a fan if you don't know the number.
Hey, don't cut our numbers down.
Come on, Bob. How dare you do that? Gosh. So how are you, Bob?
Good.
Well, first of all, thank you for being a sponsor of the show, and we appreciate that very much. Now, tell everybody about, first of all, tell everybody about you. Who is
How long
Bob?
have you been down here?
Yeah.
When did you come down? Why? And how did you get started in business down here?
I came down. My company from the Outer Banks
There you go. Oh, North Carolina.
of North Carolina.
Ooh, that's a nice area.
She's a geography whiz. I don't know if you knew that from previous shows, but
We had the chance to buy a great company down here, Sun Palace. Ron and Judith Hemstreet had grown a company. They'd been here for 13 years. Great quality homes, great customer service, and they were at that point where they're ready to retire. So we came in and got to know the folks and closed at the end of January. And it's just a great group of people.
oh, this past
just
January?
Not this January, last January.
19.
So 2020.
Yeah, everybody likes to
20.
forget.
Timing could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
Some things, but
Wow. So how many
Wait a minute. So what's your background? Like what led you to that?
Come on.
I was doing vacation rentals on the Outer
Okay.
Banks since 1987.
Wow. So you come with a lot of experience.
I've
Well versed.
been in the houses.
So Outer Banks, we used to live in North Carolina, in Jacksonville, Greenville.
Greenville.
Well, the
It's
radio
not anywhere
station,
near there.
the
though.
radio station that I worked at, because North Carolina is so flat, was 100,000 watts. So that's a lot of watts, dear.
I
That
get
means
it.
the radio
Thank
station
you.
signal goes very far. It went all the way out to Jacksonville, and there's a base out there in Jacksonville, right? And then the Outer Banks is close to Jacksonville, right? Or no?
It's probably a 3 or 4 hour drive.
Okay, that's pretty close. I mean,
It's
Greenville's
not
about 2
close
hours
enough.
away. If it's,
Right.
If it's Greenville, North
yeah,
Carolina.
yeah.
it's a
When you
Greenville, South
compare
Carolina.
North
South Carolina.
Carolina, when you compare Florida to New York, then it's close, right?
It's close, about 300 or 400 miles.
He didn't say that. He said 3 or 4 hours,
Yeah,
not
wow.
3
But
or
I've just
400
been
miles.
so impressed with the beach here.
Yeah.
There's so many good things about it.
Sure.
You can walk it really easily.
Except the government, but
Young
that's a different
kids,
story. Yeah.
The Atlantic Ocean's a little bit rougher than this
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
And the little kids can walk out forever, it seems like.
Yes, you can go a long way before you're going to get in over your head, which is good.
I swam
Especially
2
for
miles in
you.
the Atlantic Ocean one year
You did
during the
not.
Ironman. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Sun Palace Vacations. What can people get? What do you have to offer them?
Well, anywhere from we've got Mojo's Studios, which are some studio rooms. Right
That's a
around the
sweet
Mojo's
spot right
coffee,
there.
Coffee shop. You're a block from the beach. It's just great access all the way up to. We've got a lot of Gulf front homes, so you can get a 6-bedroom where you can bring the extended
Wow.
family, and that's that's our clientele is family groups for the most part.
Right on the Gulf.
Right on the Gulf, and then you've also got the homes. No place in Fort Myers Beach is that far away from the
Right.
beach,
Right.
So we've got folks that come down and get a 2 or 3 bedroom home on the canal, and just walk to the beach when they'll stay for a couple of weeks.
Now, Mojo's is right over by the Sea Gypsy, right? That's the whole spot
Yes, sir,
there.
right
So,
next door.
are your apartments or what are they home? I'm
They're studios.
studios.
and
They to the
one-bedrooms
side or
right in
above?
there. They're above.
Nice.
So you're kind of looking down on that courtyard in Mojo's.
Now, did you have to like refurbish them when you came down, or they were good to go when you got them?
With vacation rentals, you're the manager, and you recommend things to the owners, and
Oh, I see.
and you've got to have some standards.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because there's a big trust relationship there with your guests. They want to know what they're coming into and that it's a certain quality. And then same thing with your owners. I mean, they're trusting you to take care of the home. That's their number one concern.
Thank God, we have Governor DeSantis in this state. But the big question is, how has the pandemic affected your business?
Well, early spring was a little bit of a scary time. It was just completely shut down.
Yeah.
From probably mid-March through close to the end of May.
Wow.
And I actually went back to North Carolina during that time because there wasn't much point in being here. We weren't doing a lot.
Right.
And they actually closed the bridge to non-resident property owners in Dare County. So that caused a fair amount of controversy.
For sure.
Controversy
Yeah.
when you can't get to your property. But when it opened back up, there was a lot of pent-up demand, and people just wanted to get away. And vacation rentals were just the perfect venue for that.
Right.
You had control of your space. They were well cleaned, and you had only your family there, and no real common areas. So it was just the perfect setup for that. So people are coming back, and some people are willing to travel, and some people aren't. And
Right.
you got to respect people's individual decisions there.
Are you
And obviously you're going in there and you're doing all the COVID routine to clean every house that comes up.
No, we're doing our regular cleaning, and then we also did a treatment with a product called Preventex, which put a barrier on for 90 days that's
Wow.
supposed to kill the virus. It's what they used on the hospital ships in New York.
He's not paying attention. We're doing a show here. He's going.
living his life. Let him live his life.
You see him run away. He knows I'm kidding
know.
around with him. We need to shut the heater off
So
in here.
guys,
Start
I've
breaking
got
sweat.
a present for y'all.
Oh, no kidding.
It's
The
the
Oh,
Roundhouse
very
book.
nice. We had him. We had him on the show.
And I really want to compliment y'all. You've given me a lot of good ideas on things.
Oh, you kidding?
And
You're making that up.
We actually got this book for all of our property owners, and it's this is an autographed copy because when I went in to buy the books, the author was there at
Nice.
the Mound House.
Patrick.
He
Wow.
very kindly signed 125 books.
You're saying that you got that idea from watching him on our show.
Yes, sir.
When I was watching the council meeting, they said somebody had come in. How many did you buy?
125.
125 bucks. 125 bucks. I was gonna say books.
Books.
And they didn't say it was because you watched the show. Damn it! I wonder why didn't they give us the credit for that? Did you tell them it was?
I don't
because-
know that I told him.
Oh,
I didn't
come
give him a
on,
chance
Bob!
to do that.
Wow,
This
No,
will
that's
give
pretty
you a
cool.
better platform.
that's pretty cool
Yeah,
for
that
doing that.
is
It was just-
amazing.
So you put that like instead of the Bible or next to the Bible, or how does that whole thing
no,
work?
We're giving it to our property owners, and
Oh, cool.
letting them know that the proceeds went to the Friends of the Mound House, and that there are opportunities there for them to join.
Nice.
And
Wow.
It's just you'll have such.
That's cool. So you have 125 total properties then, or
We're growing actually.
Nice.
We're looking for other quality properties to represent on Fort Myers Beach because we've got a lot of guests that want to come.
yeah?
So how have reservations been recently?
Good. They're folks are a little bit more tentative. They are booking later, so they're not booking 6 months in advance, which
Yeah.
is understandable.
Yeah, we heard that's
Right.
the deal that people kind of wait until the last minute before they
Yeah.
book. Yeah, cool.
Has that changed how you do reservations?
Not really.
Okay.
And you've got a lot of people here that come back year after year. So they've made their bookings back last February to come in February or January to come in January.
Fingers crossed for the Shrimp Festival coming
Yes,
up.
sir.
I know
was
that.
signed up for the 5K, and
You kidding?
It was a little disappointing.
Oh,
to
last
have-
year.
Yeah.
Last year.
What's your 5K time? What's your best
Ooh.
time?
Yeah, that's personal.
No, it's not. I didn't ask you what your
he's
underwear
just so-
size was or
No,
something.
he'll
I mean,
ask
he's
you how
not
much you
afraid.
make. Oh, God.
what is
no.
your fastest mile? Now, how old are you? First of all, we'll put you in the
Well,
right category.
there
What are
we
you?
go.
50, 52?
I don't know. You guess ages, right?
No, I don't. If I guess my wife's
I'm
age,
going to be 59 next month.
so
Wow.
you're all right. We would be in the same group then if we
Right,
ran. I'd
right.
be looking at you from behind. I mean, for sure. So really, when was the last 5K you ran? because nobody's holding them anymore.
You mean like for time?
No, yeah, in a race.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
race.
We actually back home. We sponsored a 5K every Thursday morning in the month of July and
Cool.
August.
That's
And we
nice.
got probably 200,
I'm sure.
250 guests that came
Oh,
out.
yeah.
For sure.
And just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your damn time, Bob? Tell me.
I'm
What do you
if
pull
I'm
now?
pushing it, I might do a 9-minute mile.
Very
Well,
nice.
that's
Very
good.
nice. That's
You know,
good. Yeah.
so-
That's
Yeah.
good.
When you were younger, were you running 5Ks or did you pick it up later in life?
I did cross country in high school.
Okay.
And then
Different.
I didn't run anymore for a long time after that.
Are your knees holding
Yeah.
up? Because I know that running on the pavement really sucks sometimes. I mean, it's just
Well, and y'all's beach is so much better
Right,
than mine
right.
for
Mhm.
running. It's
Oh, yeah.
hard sand. It's flat. On the Outer Banks, you're running at an angle most of the time.
Right.
And you can find soft sand if you really want to dig in workout, and you can run on the harder sand. So you have every
So we
option.
actually did our 5Ks on the beach for a season as well.
So
And
do you-
it was dependent on the tides, how hard it was.
so
Right,
you're not
right.
the kind of person that has these awards and medals in the backyard hanging up. I mean, it's so people like that. Or do you have that kind of stuff in the backyard?
I mean,
some-
like from all the 5Ks.
yeah.
I mean, you got to take the medals home. You got to do
Yeah.
something with them.
She does that. She's got medals everywhere,
Mine
and
are
just
kinda in the
annoying.
closet, I
Yeah.
think. But
So
You know, I
what
used
is
to have
the-
trophies from when I was 8 years old. I played every sport like baseball and we had football and we had lacrosse. And, because I'm a superior athlete, I used to get a lot of trophies and she threw them out. They were
Okay.
in the attic and she threw them out.
He
And
had a box
that's
of trophies
it's tough
from
to
when he was 8 years old.
it's tough to
and
break
half
from
of them
things
were
like
broken.
that. It's tough to
my wife's
recover.
been after my comic books the last couple of years.
Comic
Well,
books.
no,
Those
but
are worth
those
a
are
lot of
money.
money.
Taking up
Those
space.
have money.
Yeah.
How
Those
far back do you go?
More the 60s.
All Marvel? You got Marvel in
Marvel.
there? Yeah, that's big money right
Marvel
there.
guy, yeah.
You go to the comic book. Yeah,
Comic-Con?
that's for goofballs.
Just put them in
yeah.
a crate and,
Yeah.
And
save
let
them
them
for
let them
25
accrue.
years.
Yeah.
Right. Now the paper's sticking to each other and
So
all
can
that.
I get back?
Go right
to,
ahead.
So
Were you asking them questions about something?
what-
I'm sorry.
what-
I didn't
just
mean to talk about
ballpark.
myself.
if you can, a ballpark figure of how much a vacation would cost down here if you were to do a studio or a house. What is the average, or does it vary so much?
And does it matter where you stay? Like,
well, I know it matters. I mean, it's going to be more on the Gulf than it is off
I
the
mean,
Gulf.
you've got a real variety of ranges because we've got a variety of sizes. And
So you
we've got
have something to meet everyone's budget. That's where I'm going here. That's where I'm
Yes.
leading you. All right.
and there are also some properties there like Mojo's you can rent for 3 nights or 4 nights. There are places that you can't do that
right.
and
because of the rules on the beach, right?
because
You
the
got
rules on the beach,
yeah.
and it's either weekly or monthly in some other spots. So we respect that, and
The one thing
we try
about
and get along.
Yeah, the one
Right,
thing about
right.
the governor's rules that I didn't quite follow along was when they started to open things up again, it was like
Oh,
the
yeah.
vacation rentals were like they were
You
just
guys
left
got
out
hammered,
you were left
yeah.
out hanging. It was like, why, what's wrong with the vacation? And it didn't make any sense to me. And then the counties had to step up and propose why our county, we have great county government here. They stepped right up and got the vacation rentals going. But that whole thing was strange. But of course, the whole year was strange. But that really was totally strange.
No, and I think it took some lobbying on the part of the vacation rental associations
Mhm.
to make the point that, hey, these are really, you've got more control over your surroundings than you do in a resort or a hotel.
Bob, what can we do for you, man? You've been great to us, and what
Well,
can
why
we
don't
do?
you give out all the information,
yeah.
how people can get a hold of you, see the properties on the web? Can they go in there and look around and check
We've
it
got
out?
a great new website, actually. That's
Perfect.
one of the things we brought to Sun Palace was we changed softwares, which is always painful.
Yeah.
Anytime you change software. And then we did a new website to go along with that. So
What's
it's
the
really
website
fast.
address?
It's sunpalacevacations.com.
Well, that's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
And
And-
everything's on there, and all the availability. It's all real time. Lots of pictures, so you can really get an idea of what you're coming into.
And then
Cool.
that'll have the prices on there and everything out the door.
And by the way, folks, if you
Do
want
they
to
have
go,
pictures of inside the different homes so people can see? Oh, see?
Yes, ma'am.
That's
Tons of pictures
perfect.
for all the houses.
if you want to go to our Beach Talk Radio News website, big banner for them, and you can click right through to there and jump on there and say hi to everybody and see some of the pictures and Anything else we can do, Bob? I mean, really appreciate you buying those books. I mean, Patrick was so great on the show, and he did such an awesome job with the Mound House book. And it's so nice. You know, there should be,
book.
you know, you want to have local books like that or other things. I'm sure there are other things that, like maybe magazines, or there used to be a newspaper or whatever that you have in your room when you come to the beach, because it's such a unique beach and we love it here. And that's super cool for people.
Now, you want to be a good place to visit, but you also want to be a good place to live. And I was just really impressed with the steps the town took early on. And there's an old picture of Anita and Ray in there. They look a little bit younger.
Different.
Really? All right.
We
I'll
gotta
have to
find
look at
that
that. Yeah.
picture.
These guys went out on a limb to get the Mound House property.
For sure.
A
Yeah,
lot of
they did a great
litigation,
job with that.
all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
By the
really
way, if you
appreciate
think that putting 125 of these in your properties, I won't even charge you anything. I'm kidding about that. But all right, Bob. Well,
no,
thank
y'all
you.
done a great job. But
Oh, thanks,
yeah, there was
man.
a real void after the sandpaper folded.
Yeah.
And so y'all
They
done
did a great
of
job.
picking up local news. Local government always needs good critics. And
Well, that's my wife sometimes gets a little crazy with that stuff, but
I've
we
got to tell you,
appreciate
I was the mayor of Nags Head for 4 years.
No kidding. How
So-
was it?
so
How
did
was it being
10
elected?
years as an elected
Wow.
official?
Wow. How was that?
It was interesting.
Do you get a lot of calls from residents when you're elected?
A few.
Yeah,
A few.
There you go.
mostly.
You got
People
to be a
don't-
good listener.
Do people call you and say, "Bob, you're doing a hell of a job"?
Rarely. Rarely. I did double their property taxes. So
Wait a second. Who's that? Wow. Look at Anita Saracita, always with the hair aflow.
Yep.
Wow. And who else is in there?
Show it on
Ray.
there.
I don't know if you can see that. We're definitely taking a picture of that and putting it up there. That is pretty cool. That's who are the other folks? I don't even know who the other folks are. That's Ray and
Ted.
Ted. Wow, that's pretty cool. Mayor of Nags Head, Maria says, "Wow, Mayor of Nags Head." So very nice, very cool. Thanks for doing that, Bob, and thanks for being
Thank
part of the
you.
show.
Thank
and
you
Yeah,
so
I've
much for
enjoyed
the
it.
book.
anytime you want to come on, man, just give us a call and we'll bump a guest for you, no matter who it is. So
Thanks a lot, y'all.
Thank
You're
you.
doing a great job.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bob Oakes, everybody, and that is a crowd going wild. That's the artificial crowd you're going to hear at all the NFL games today and tomorrow. And before we get to our 10 o'clock segment, did she steal my? Yes, she stole my.
You handed it to me.
She stole my. I'm gonna read an ad because I really like reading ads. Bob is super cool. You're touching me a lot today, and I really like that, but I'm not
close.
used to it. So Island Oils LLC. I know you use it and I use it, and I know I have an ad here to read. I should have it memorized by now because wait. Go ahead, dear. Say something while I find the ad. We got so many.
Island Oils, they mix natural oils to repel no-see-ums, mosquitoes.
Yes.
It smells great.
Smells
they
lovely.
Have, they also have the afterbite. So if you do get bit, you don't get there in time, you can do the roll on, and that takes the sting out.
Right. It's 100% oil. Did you say that?
I didn't say 100%.
You can
but
go on Island Oils. Listen, folks, tonight when you're watching the football games, there's going to be bugs flying all around you. And the last thing you want is a bug flying up your nose when you're getting ready to watch somebody cross the goal line or kick a field goal, because the bugs really suck. So get yourself some Island Oils, spray it on you, spray it on your neighbors, your friends, your pets.
It's
because
DEET free.
It's it's what?
DEET free.
DEET free. That means that there are no DEETs involved. And I don't even know what a DEET is,
Well,
but I'm
it's a
sure you can find them on
chemical
the
name.
Outer Banks of North Carolina, which is only 3 hours from here. And it's safe for children 6 months and older. Look at how cute that baby is. Very kid-friendly here at Pete's Time Out,
She's not a baby. She's a big girl.
where we're keeping the sound down. We're keeping the sound down. If you walk by, you wouldn't even know there was anything going on in here.
that is a good point. Your voice is so loud.
I wonder if they had one of those meters outside and they measured my voice. Would it pass the meter test or not? Anyway, Island Oils LLC. Don't itch it. Don'tItchIt.com. That's where you can go. That's a great name for bug spray. Don'tItchIt.com. And it's local. They live on the beach. And they could use an order today. Actually, we could use the order today so that we
Please.
prove that, what we say works. Is that Christy
Don't
Hennessy
encourage-
walking by? Very nice. Look at all the
Don't
top
encourage
fans in here.
him, Mikey.
All right, everybody. Are you going to stick around for this?
No, I'm going to let
okay.
you go, but I do want to say
You're going to come back afterward, and we're
I
going
will
to
come
invite
back in.
Stu.
I just have one question for him.
Okay. Oh, you have a question for him. Then
Yeah.
Greg's going to come in. We're going to talk a little bit about some national stuff now, folks. So if you're
go ahead.
if you're
introduce
just
him.
into the local, you might want to take a pause until Kim comes back and we have to talk about the putt and pub crawl that was canceled. And Roger just basically took $10,000 away from all the community organizations, and we're going to try and put the money back in their pocket. So stay tuned for that after Stu joins us. But go ahead, dear.
So, Stu,
Ma'am,
welcome to the show.
thanks for having me.
I have to ask you a question.
Sure.
So I'm guessing you don't realize what time he goes to bed.
Oh yeah, this is
This is going to be a point of contention.
No, it's not going to be a point of contention. Do you
You said,
know?
leave me alone, man.
No, I never.
What's the
wait a
first thing
minute.
you think when somebody calls your phone at 1 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock? Holy shit! Somebody died. Who died? Get the phone. Somebody died.
I never. You're on.
I am.
I never check his phone, but it does not ring, and then it rang twice, and then I'm sorry, but I was like, who is this? Like, should I call them back? Is it an emergency?
Oh, it was.
And so I just have to say anything. And so then I got up the next morning and I said to him, who the heck is calling you?
It was a girl
And-
or something.
yeah.
Like it was a woman.
Like it was this is, oh, sure, Stu. It's probably Stacy something or other. Stacy from State Farm or whatever that commercial was. So
He's got a
anyways,
good alibi. It was me.
I will let you guys get to it. And Greg coming on in.
Oh, Greg's coming in here too.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All righty.
So, Ed, I'll just apologize.
Okay,
we
go
were
ahead.
drinking. And
Oh, you were over at his house that night.
He was at
I
my
don't know
house,
what
yeah.
time was it. It was
time was not of concern.
You didn't know what time it
just
was,
didn't-
is
yeah,
that what you're
it
saying?
didn't matter, so.
All right. So Greg, everybody knows Greg Skasny. Let me fix the camera here so there's more of you and less of
Oh,
me.
there's a lot of
And
me to
Now, Stu, I think this is the first time you've been on the show here, and not your sons. Your sons are usually on. We're going to get you guys on. Don't worry about it. You guys are the stars.
Mhm.
Tell everybody here that our 9 listeners and followers what you do wherever you live.
Well, so I'm a fugitive investigator, right? We chase violent offenders and people wanted for crimes against persons, gangs, guns, drugs, rape, murder, that kind of deal. I have a history in radio, now back into radio, and I'm the host of a show called Patriotically Correct, syndicated out of Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and so we do the social media thing up until now. Which
Did you jump off Facebook?
well, having me on here will probably get you
That's
jumping
all right.
off too.
But
So we're on Twitter and Facebook. We're also on a bunch of different networks, anywhere that you can find a podcast as well. And then we're live on iHeartRadio Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
and Greg, you've been on a few times.
Stu has been gracious enough to let me come on his show and rant and
Oh, he's a heck of a contributor.
yeah.
contributor. I'm the Fort Myers Beach based PC radio contributor.
So who is the other guy that you have on your show with you? Because I've watched like the beginning of the show a few times, and I've never seen the guy say anything.
Yeah,
you pretty
he's-
much monopolize all the
Richard's
time
all
at the
right.
beginning
He's
there.
got to let me get it all out, you know. And then no, Richard is very valuable to me because Richard is a Purple Heart recipient, combat wounded war veteran. He's currently in the Army. He's my partner at work also, and his insight, although be it not overwhelmingly abundant, is always incredibly valuable.
Right. All right. So I don't think it would be out of line to say that you two are in the conspiracy theory camp of the election was stolen.
I've been told that, and you know the conspiracy theory is really this: we're going to suppress an investigation from happening. So if the election wasn't stolen, then why the resistance to audit the votes? Why the resistance to check to make sure? Why the cut and run and blocking and deleting and silencing makes you look really guilty? I mean, what did the mob do? When the mob had somebody that was going to tell on them, they killed them.
Mhm.
They put them in the bottom of the river. They put them in orange groves. They cut them up. They silenced them. So the silencing just makes the left look terrible.
When some folks say that all the court challenges that have come up have resulted in nothing substantial, there's some kind of shenanigans going on in every election. After all, the Democrats complained that the 2016 election was stolen, and here we are doing the same thing in 2020. So when folks say that there's just not enough to overturn an election, you're not buying that?
Listen, you had Democratic senators like the worthless, feckless Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota saying 2 years ago, this Dominion stuff is compromised. It was legitimately used to steal elections in Venezuela on behalf of Chavez. Why we were using it in the first place is beyond me, because you're right. We did know about this 2 years ago. As far as the court challenges are concerned, these things haven't been dismissed or ruled against. They haven't been looked at because they weren't brought by the appropriate party. For example, in Arizona, a DOD official who was very aware of fraudulent ballots being on an airplane in our country from somewhere overseas, being disseminated throughout the country, admits this on tape. But this lawsuit was dismissed because the person who brought it wasn't a valid Arizona voter. But what difference does that make?
Why are the networks backtracking and some of the media backtracking on the way they criticized that company on their ballots for fear of lawsuits? Why are they backtracking on that after they've told them that there's nothing nefarious going on?
They're backtracking because of money, power, control, compliance, and relevancy. They're never going to be, they'll be gone just like Twitter is gone, just like Parler is about to be gone. These media groups are all funded by the same 6 or 7 billionaires and big box stores, major corporations from all over the country. They're going to lose access to the president. Should it be either one, Trump or Biden, they'll lose access to him if they're opinionated, in that regard. So they're really stabbing themselves in the back with this deal, because when you run away from the truth, when you're not courageous enough to actually dive in, I believe that you lose all credibility.
Do you believe Trump won the election?
In a landslide.
You're both crazy.
No,
I
we're
don't
not
see
crazy.
in a landslide in any way. I don't. But anyway,
you have to see like what Dominion does, though. The reason that these people are going back on it is Dominion's threatening huge litigation, right? And they don't have to be right. You don't have to be right. You just have to threaten years and years and years of lawsuits that are extremely expensive. And places like Newsmax, we used to watch Newsmax. They cave. They don't want the lawsuits. They don't want the years of litigation. It gets too expensive.
So let's move on to what happened this past week. The storming of the Capitol. Thankfully, these thugs that ran into the Capitol and are sitting in Pelosi's desk or breaking windows or doing whatever they were doing, stealing things. I hope they find every single one of them and they rot in prison, because you just can't. The United States of America can't be seen to the world that way. We can't be doing that. That's not. And I know people, the cockamamie argument about, well, what about Portland and what about the other cities? Well, that was them, and this shouldn't be us. We shouldn't be acting the way we're claiming they acted. And there you go. And don't.
But it wasn't
tell me
us.
that
That's
it was
just
Antifa.
It wasn't us. It wasn't.
And there was no Trump supporters that went in there. Nobody's buying that. Nobody's buying that.
To say none, I mean, that's a very binary argument, right? To say, oh, there's none. Well, again, I think that those actions were spurred on, and it gets to be group mentality, right? Those actions were spurred on by people who were not Trump supporters. And there's plenty of videos out there of Trump supporters trying to knock the clubs out of people's hands when they're trying to break in.
Fair enough.
To stop these people from doing that, right? So, and it's not past the realm of common sense to think that people who are opposed to Trump weren't there trying to instigate and break into the Capitol.
Even though I don't believe that, I'll give you that. If you're an adult and you're a Republican or a conservative and you claim that you're smarter than the other side, the minute you get to those steps, your ass better be turning around, or you're just like you're the other side that we're all bitching about in Portland or Black Lives Matter, whoever the group is.
And let me tell you this.
Go ahead.
Whether it's Black Lives Matter, Antifa, Trump supporters, the F around boys or whatever they call themselves, there are 100 groups, QAnon or whatever, all these people out here. You know what the one thing is that they all have in common? They are disenfranchised Americans, and they all feel like they've been cheated out of something. America, the real enemy to Americans are the elected representatives that we have sent there, who have turned their backs on Americans, who were angry enough to do the unthinkable on the 6th. And a part of me says, I applaud that, but
you applaud storming the Capitol?
I mean, In a certain sense, I do. Now, the destruction of property and the stealing of things and the violence and things like that. No, I think we're above that. But at what point does America say? And I mean, it sounds controversial, but listen, 5 years ago, if we would have talked about this, people would have told us that we needed medication. These fringe thoughts that people like QAnon were talking about 2 years ago, and I'm not a follower of Q, but these people were talking about these very things. Bernie Sanders was talking about very fringe thing like socialism in America. Now these things are mainstream conversation. And so to talk about violence and the way to get our country back and being left with only one thought, people really do believe this. They're desperate for the sake of their kids. They look at
we're talking about two different things in my mind. If you're going to organize a revolution, then organize a revolution. And don't storm the Capitol and act like a bunch of assholes. And that's what we had this past week.
And then in the same regard, you can't flip
because what was the result of that? What benefited from that? Those people are going to jail.
I agree.
Trump is getting 100% of the blame.
But you know what it is? It gave
unfairly, by the way.
Unfairly, and it also, again, I'm going to jump on the conspiracy theory bandwagon a little bit, but it gave the cowardly senators who were going to stand up to have the votes challenged an out. It gave Loeffler an out. Like again, Trump came there and to Georgia, campaigned for Loeffler, and she went up there and says, "Well, I'm not gonna contest it because of what happened today." It gave him an out. So
I voted for Trump twice. I believed in his policies. What happened last week, totally was against anything that I thought could happen in this country, and it not only tarnished his legacy because he did egg them on. He might not have told them. He might not have told them.
That's false.
Guys,
he said 100%
he said march to the Capitol. He didn't say march on the Capitol. These people are fucking crackpots.
We're going to peacefully march to the Capitol. Where his exact words. His quote was, "Let's peacefully march to the Capitol," and that's exactly what we should have done.
Then he waited how long before he cried about the election and then said, "Calm down." He should have done it right away. Get out of the building. This isn't what I said. Right away when he saw the first window crack. Instead, his family is partying when this shit's going on.
That's
let me finish.
Not true though.
I know it was before it was beforehand. He was just watching the rally. But you're already got people that are just looking for something to bury you with, and he gave it to them on a silver platter.
No, he didn't. The media gave it to you.
100%.
Well, you guys know
they're lying.
But you guys know those are the goal lines. That's the field we're operating in. The media, yeah. So keep giving them chum. Keep throwing chum in the water.
So what do you do instead then? You back down to them? You do nothing?
What he should have done was not had a rally on that day. He should have had a rally on Inauguration Day somewhere else, and he should have kept the momentum going for himself if he was going to run again. Now, here's what we have. We have impeachment bull crap on Monday. It's not going to go through. We have people asking for Pence. He stabbed Pence in the back.
Pence stabbed him in the back.
Oh my God, you guys are bananas now. The most loyal soldier out of all of them, he stabs him in the back.
Pence
and now, come on. And now we have a Senate we lost. We have the House that's Democrat, and we have a Democratic White House. That's his legacy. Who's going to repair that? I'm trying to look ahead to 2022 and 2024, and you guys are stuck in last week.
Do you think that it's beyond the realm of reality that between now and the 20th, we're still looking at the involvement of the military, the insurrection act,
totally.
the seizing of ballots?
That's totally tinfoil thinking. Nothing like that is going to happen.
Okay, socialism. How about communism in America? Is that tinfoil hat thinking as well?
No, I don't think that's. No, I don't. But I don't think it'll happen before the 20th. I don't think we'll be a communist country before the 20th.
Are we not now? Okay, so
no, I don't feel like I am. I'm thank God I'm in Florida.
Between Saturday and now, I've lost over 30,000 followers on Twitter.
Why? Oh, because they took them away from you. You didn't lose them.
Away.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Well, but Twitter's Twitter.
I just had a woman in here tell me that she's a relatively small account. She has 1,000 followers on Twitter. She now only has 400. She's lost 600. Anybody who has a conservative voice, a pro-police voice, a pro-America voice, a patriotic voice, a freedom, democracy, individual liberties, anything that goes against the grain of control and compliance by big government and big tech and big media and big corporations and billionaires is going to be silenced and deleted. That is communism. It's here.
It's not wait. It's when the government stamps down on your free speech. Twitter is not a part of the government. Now they may be a liberal arm of what you say,
They are
but
state media.
but they're a private company, and they can tell everyone to flip off
But
if they
Twitter
want to.
enjoys protections from the federal government. Right?
That's
So
right. That's
the
right.
president, as
That's
soon as
right.
the
I didn't
riots
believe in
started,
that.
The president went on Twitter and put out 3 videos. One of them saying, "Go home. You know, we need to protest in peace. This is wrong." And Twitter freaking took him down, right, immediately. So to say that he didn't try to go out and do something, that's where he pushes his message through Twitter. And he goes on Twitter, gives his message saying, "Hey, listen, this is wrong. We don't need to be storming the Capitol. We need to go home. We need to be peaceful. We need to follow
You're
the
making
law."
it sound like
Did you see his video?
I did.
It was very impassioned. He put it on there, and they took it down.
Greg,
they said it was inciting violence.
Greg,
That's bullshit.
okay, well, when he went on and started off by complaining about the election and then said, "Calm down, I love you, go home." It doesn't. You can't.
Why
You
he
can't
complain
say
about
that.
the election. The election was stolen.
It's over. It's over.
But
So
it's
for
over.
5
So we should
years,
just
since he
accept
came
it.
down the escalator
It's
with what
wrong.
would be our first lady,
Yeah.
for 5 years, he has been fought against, not only by
I
Democrats,
agree.
but by Republicans as well. The
I
people
agree.
that are supposed to be in his party, they have lied about him. They have done everything they can to stomp on him. Look at the
I agree
phony-
with
come
all
on,
that.
The Russia, the
I agree
the
with
Steele
all of that.
dossier, the Russia hoax, the Ukrainian phone call, the phony impeachment. And when he says all those things are phony, they are.
I
They
agree
are.
with
And
that.
the evidence is there. It's there.
I agree with that.
So it all started with the debate where he's interrupting 141 times or whatever it was. Well, he's on stage.
I think he recovered from that, though.
And that's fine, but people are like, well, he's acting irresponsible. He's being immature. He's a loudmouth. He's a bully. No, he's not a bully. He's defending himself. And he has to defend himself and has the right to defend this country and everything that it stands for.
So
We're waving our hands around here.
I'm trying
We
to
got an
get
emergency.
Angela. I'm trying to get her attention. You guys want a beer, by the way? Before you want a beer?
I'd have a blue moon.
Blue moon,
Yeah, blue moon.
2 blue moons. Terry, 2 blue moons. I know you're waiting on my wife there. So after all of that, here's my theory. I think if it wasn't for the coronavirus, he would have won in a landslide, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But the other thing I think that is
Why'd they stop counting at 3 a.m.? Can you tell me that? In the history of our elections, have they ever once stopped counting? No, the answer is no.
I don't know all that. I just think that
Why in Georgia did they stop counting again at exactly the same time? How ironic is it that Warnock won by the same exact number of votes in Fulton County that Donald Trump got? That's statistically impossible. How do 120,000 ballots come in at one time, 100% of them for Joe Biden? You couldn't go and stand in this line right now and find 12 people in a line that would all say that they were voting for Joe Biden. 120,000 consecutively? It's statistically impossible. So for you to say that we wear tinfoil hats or that we're part of a conspiracy theory group.
Not on every subject, just one.
Well, I'm just going to make them one more. I'll make the
Not on every subject.
With the PC
I just
radio.
don't. I'm not buying all of what you're saying. That's all. I just think that.
What have I said that's hard to believe?
I think that if all of that was actually true, it would have gotten out. It would have gotten out. And you can't tell me that that's 100% people trying to keep that kind of stuff hidden. I just don't think with as many followers as he has, not everybody that is in those counties that are counting the votes are Biden supporters. There's got to be people in there that would bring it out. I just don't think you can suppress something that
when
big.
You go to someone like Georgia, you tell their Secretary of State, hey, your election systems are screwed up. Your processes are screwed up. The only thing he's going to be is be defensive. He's not going to want to do anything about it. And that's what we have here. They're not going back. They're not doing audits. They're not doing anything.
You talked about legal battles, okay? How can you fight a legal battle when the courts are corrupt that you're bringing it to? How can you put something out in the media when the media is corrupt that you're bringing it to? When everybody is corrupt, including the people that are closest to you, stabbing you in the back, how can you be effective? And that is who surrounds Trump. Everybody, with the exception of his family and maybe a couple of other trusted people, everybody has turned on him. They've cut and run, and they have stabbed him in the back. There are actual emails between Paul Ryan and Mike Pence talking about removing him, possibly killing him. If you really read them.
You can hand them right to them. They're going to need to take big swigs of these things. Is there anything right with this country, Stu?
Yes, there is.
What is it?
What is right is that there is a huge, huge fire being stoked at the base of the patriotic heart of Americans that is you cannot extinguish it. And there are more Americans, including Democrats. I'm not talking about the 75 or 85 million people that voted for Donald Trump. I'm talking about Americans who love this country. Democrats love this country too. I know a lot of them. I know a a very large number of sane, level-headed Democrats who oppose all of this. They are pissed off as hell that this thing was so blatantly and obviously fraudulently stolen and rigged. Their votes went for Biden, but they don't want him to win if this was the pretense. And those people are equally as disenfranchised as anybody else. And so what's happening here is the shedding of light on where the real evil is. And the real enemy are those people who have enriched themselves at the cost of you and I and our freedom and our individual liberties. And they're being identified. And when you shine the light on cockroaches, they scatter. That's the positive that's coming out of this. And that's what still remains good in America.
I'm going to make it a little more simpler than that. More people hated Hillary Clinton than hated Joe Biden. And that's why Trump won the first time. It was a kind of let's try this out kind of thing. And there was some buyer's remorse at the beginning, but then he started to implement some things that we all could get behind. And we thought, okay, we could deal with another 4 years of this. And the guy went off the rails.
Let me ask you a question.
Well, I let you go.
It's your show.
Let me just get finished. And then I want to hear what you have to think about it. And then he could not, and I know you all are going to say, because that's just the way it is. If you can't even play in the sandbox a little bit so that you can get enough votes to win the next 4 years, then this is what happens. He did not comply in any way to fit into the box where the independents or the people on the fence would say, okay, I feel like I'm getting a decent paycheck.
So you mean he did exactly what he promised that he was going to do when he went to Washington, was not be a politician. In his inauguration speech, where he screwed up, is when he said, we are taking the power back and we're taking it away from DC and giving it back to the people.
Get over
That's
that, man.
Quote unquote,
it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Because he told the truth. He's never been a politician. He never will be. But what I'm going to ask you is, you brought up Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Would you agree that she is one of the most prolific politicians in the world?
Absolutely.
Globally.
Should be in prison.
That aside, and love her or hate her, you would agree that she's one of the most well-known politicians globally.
Absolutely.
Okay. Barack Obama still remains probably the most popular person in the world.
Right.
And you would agree that he also is more popular, right?
Yeah.
Now, Joe Biden was not really a household name. I mean, everybody knew him as the former vice president. Some people did, but you go out and interview people on the street, ask them who the vice president is now, a lot of people will struggle, sadly. We're supposed to believe that Joe Biden got more votes than Hillary Clinton, more black votes than Barack Obama. We're supposed to just believe that?
I don't know if you can believe it or not, but
statistically impossible. It's silly.
But
Who should be wearing the tinfoil hat?
But my theory is that enough people hated Donald Trump, they came out. That's how much he got them to hate them. And there's probably more people than there were 4 years ago. And the mail-in ballots created more votes. And so that's why you had all these extra votes. I honestly believe that less people hated Joe Biden. They're not happy that we have Joe Biden. Well, a lot of people are, but they really disliked Hillary Clinton to the point where Trump won. And that's how simple I think it is.
She's an evil bitch. But here's the deal. Here's how this can be disproven. Okay. This can be disproven by the physical gathering of the crowds.
It means nothing. I agree with you, though, but it means
nothing.
There
was no enthusiasm behind Biden.
Right,
so if you want to talk about who hated who or who loved who, you have 45,000.
No doubt.
I mean,
never seen it before in my life. A parade for a candidate for it made no sense to me. Never seen it before.
So tell me how he lost.
He lost because I don't believe. Okay, well,
that's it.
So we seem to get. So how do we get out of this? I mean, we can't be living in a democratic world for the next.
We're screwed.
Republican,
4 years.
Conservative, or a patriot will never win a fair election ever again.
Oh, come on. You don't think? Well, that's because you know why? My opinion is that's because Trump has totally he sucked the life out of everybody. There's not there was no succession plan.
There was
There's
a lot
nobody
of life sucking at those rallies. I saw that. There was no
politically,
energy there whatsoever.
People taking out their votes.
If you're smart politically, then you know who's going to, even if you're going to be in for 8 years, who would have been the next person. Well, you would think Pence would have a chance, but he stabbed him in the back, and he doesn't even have a chance to.
Pence is not going to be a president. Come on,
who's going to be the next? Who's a front runner for the Republicans?
I don't think there's going to be a Republican Party. It's dead. The GOP has been buried, and a new party out of this has done, and it's been born, the Patriot Party. And I think that it's going to be a legitimately funded third party that is going to take this world by storm. You watch. I mean, there's another fringe conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, type way of thinking. But who's left in the GOP? who's left for Republicans. I mean, they're weak. They're absolutely weak.
Well,
they're
they
just
are
as
now.
corrupt as the Democrats are.
And they have been
They're,
weak.
they're establishment people
Right.
who have somehow made themselves multimillionaires with 7 or 8 elaborate homes around the country and world, who are elitists that
For sure.
they don't even believe in what they're saying about this coronavirus BS. And they prove that with their actions by sneaking around without masks, going out and dining in groups larger than what they deem is acceptable and safe for you and I. And they're using the fear emotion to move crowds of people into compliance and control while they themselves are traveling about the free world that's free to them only.
Greg?
I have a lot, but I'm done. It's good. No,
All right.
I mean, I agree with Stu Stan, and
I'm as Republican and conservative as you can get.
You're
and
full
the way,
of shit,
And
too.
the way that I'm looking at it is, this is politics. I don't wrap my life around a single politician. I don't trust politicians, whether they're local and they lie to you or they're national and they lie to you, because at the end of the day, just like Trump, he only cares about himself.
that's not true.
He only
that
he,
is a
now for the
bullshit
longest
lie.
time he cared about the country. Toward the end there, it was only about himself, and he screwed everybody
Yeah,
in his path. Now, you can say that people are stabbing him in the back, and I look at it the other way, like he's put them all in a position where they have no choice. I don't think he should be impeached. Just let him run his course and stop screwing the country, man.
But
All
he's
of
not
you up
screwing the
there.
country.
He's not
That's
screwing the country,
absolutely
Greg.
He's trying to
Greg,
Absolutely
save
not.
the
you
country.
guys,
So here's the deal.
He's
The-
totally. He just needs to go away.
Yeah,
He just needs to
bullshit.
go away.
I think that he needs
And
to get
never
more
run
involved
again,
than
and
ever.
never run
Absolutely
again,
never.
because
that's not going to happen.
I hope it happens.
No, but well, you may
Because
hope
he's
it,
a
but it's just,
because he's
it's
a clown.
not
He's become a
reality.
clown. The guy has become a clown,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I think you fell off and hit your head this morning
Nobody,
when you were running.
but Greg, nobody has any respect for the country anymore. You can't take
That
credit.
isn't true. I know a lot
Oh,
of people in the international community, and out of everybody that I know in the international community, all of them say that they are depending on America's
For sure.
survival and believe in Trump.
I believe
and
that.
And because if we fall, if we go dark, this country will be the darkest of
For
any
sure.
country ever in the
For
history of
sure.
the globe.
For sure.
So I mean,
We
he
I
will
believe that.
intervene
I believe that.
in genocides and all those things.
But
They
where we,
depend on us
I
for their
mean,
safety.
the hardest thing for me is to watch us become a laughing stock that we have this last week. And they're all in the center of it. But I know it'll go away. I know it'll go away. As soon as he goes away, it'll go away.
That's what the media is telling you to believe.
Exactly.
It's not.
And secondly,
I don't need. I don't have cable. I don't need the media to tell me anything, Stu. I
So
have
you
my
don't-
own mind.
You don't read. You don't use the internet. I mean,
I do.
You haven't been told.
I do.
Who told you that we're the laughing stock of the world, or is this just
My-
something that you're
it's-
dreaming up while you're
it's
running
my-
for
it's-
400 miles a day?
I don't run it. I hate running. My impression from watching what I watched last week was, man, this is a. If we're gonna have a revolution, then let's organize. I'm all for that. But that's not a revolution.
But you're not.
I am
Because,
for that.
Well, if that was the case, then you would have been in D.C., right? If you were for a revolution. But
no.
for,
No,
what
he's
kind
saying
of
he's not
revolution
for
are you
that.
for?
I'm not a Trump fan. I
So
just
then
think
what's
he's
the
an
revolution for
agitator.
for you? I mean,
I'm not getting behind a Trump revolution. I'm getting behind his ideas, but the guy's a clown. He's an ass clown.
That's not true. So again, he was elected because he's going to drain a swamp.
He didn't
Period.
do it.
But again, swamp's deep
And then,
and it's
but
big.
Greg,
If
okay,
he
we're all.
had-
as soon
if
as
he
this
had
stuff happened,
10 more terms. He could have 10 more terms.
Yeah.
Okay. He could have 40 years in office and not even begin to scratch the surface of the swamp. The swamp is a global swamp.
We're all judged by results, right? I'm judged by what kind of numbers I can send to the advertisers or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Here are the results as we look at them now. We don't have the presidency. We don't have the Senate. We don't have the House. And
All of it was stolen,
and
fraudulent, and rigged.
exactly.
and we mob scened Capitol Hill and gave
that
them
wasn't
more
Patriots that did that.
It
chum.
wasn't. Listen,
And-
like I said, it doesn't matter if it was Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Patriots. A lot of people will I will get crucified by my base by saying that it doesn't matter, because they'll say, yes, it does matter, because it wasn't the Trump people and it doesn't matter. They were disenfranchised Americans is what they were. They were upset.
Okay.
But you cannot convince me that these people were all Trump supporting, MAGA, patriotic, Republican conservatives.
I'm not saying
Because
they
the
all
media
were.
tells you that?
I'm not saying they all were, but they were dumb enough to, when they got to some of them, let's say it's 50%, I believe it was probably 99%, but let's say it was 50%. The minute you get to the first step of that building, you turn around and go back.
Do you
and
know
say,
the
I'm not
name of
gonna
the
be
woman
part
that
of
was
this.
shot and killed?
Do I know her name?
Yes.
No, I don't know her name.
If it was a black guy shot by a white cop, you'd know his name.
I would know his
But
name.
here you have an Air Force veteran who served our country honorably, who's shot in the Capitol, unprecedented history making, and you have no idea what her name is.
Okay, you also
the media is not talking about her.
Okay, you
because they
also
don't
have
care.
a Capitol
There was
police
a-
officer that got killed. 5 people got killed, and I don't know his name either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, isn't that a travesty? That's who the media
it's
is
all
now.
politics.
That's
No,
who
I
the
agree.
media is now.
All right. So when's your
Joe
go
Manchin
ahead,
just
go ahead.
became the most powerful person in the United States, by the way.
He did? I don't even know who that is.
You should.
I'm
He's
just
the-
so pissed off that Trump stabbed Pence in the back because I think he's a good guy.
But if
He's a
you do
douche.
want to be mad at me on a consistent basis, we
No,
do
I
have
don't
a
wanna be
show
mad.
called the Patriotically Correct Radio Show. It airs Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can find us on every social media site right now. I'm at Real Stu Peters. That's STEW Peters. And,
Before he gets kicked off.
or I get kicked off, which is already happening. So, Twitter, Parler, Gab,
Parler.
Cloud Hub.
I love it. I love it when all of a sudden everybody gets pissed off that Facebook is doing this and Twitter is doing that, and so they go to these little sites that nobody's on and nobody hears about, and then now they got 15 people. What are you guys are doing with this phone number thing? What is that thing?
So Signal.
Signal. What the hell is that? You're all now getting off Facebook. You're going on. What is that?
Signal's not getting off Facebook. Signal is a secure text messaging app that I've been using for years. I'm just encouraging people. That
Why?
if you
Because
wanna
Apple's taking your
No,
information.
because I just don't want Facebook seeing what I'm chatting about.
Oh,
Or I don't
okay.
want the government to see what
We're
I'm
also
chatting
on
about.
Cloud Hub, and you can find
What's Cloud Hub?
This
You
is
just
another
made
one.
that
We have
up,
a
you
No,
liar.
I didn't really.
Ed needs to get out of the house
It's a great
more
new
often. He
social
doesn't-
media.
he
Yeah,
doesn't-
you do need to get out
He doesn't
more.
get on the interwebs much.
No, I'm lucky to get out of
anywhere
Gateway.
that you can find your podcast. So Apple, let's see, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, all those.
Op
places.
Lens.
Patriotically correct, and make sure that you download that app too, the Ops Lens app.
So you said you're on every night on iHeart?
Monday through Friday, yes. We're live. Our live show on iHeartRadio is at 6 p.m. Eastern. Search the station Mojo 50.
All right. Thank you, Stu, for coming on. It's always
Thank you.
fun. It's
I
always good
enjoy
to
it.
see your family, and maybe you'll invite me on your show someday. And I
have
don't know.
invited you.
I won't fit into the crew because I don't go along with what you say like Greg does. He's a
Hey,
butt kisser.
I just get there and
Yeah.
speak my
No,
mind.
I don't know how
and
you
tell
guys
the
do
truth.
folks, they do the graphics in the back and they got
It's a
the
big
American
circle jerk,
flag
yeah.
flowing. It's so pretty with the way they do that.
Well,
and
come to my house, Ed. I'll teach you a little bit, and I'll show
Sure.
you how to be a professional
I need a lesson.
podcaster.
Thank you
I like
very
this
much.
backdrop a lot better.
Thank you guys for coming on.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it very much. All right, everybody. That is Stu Peters and Greg Asney. I mean, Greg. All right, dear. Come on back. We need to talk about something really important. Not that storming the Capitol's not important at all, but they had the putt and pub thingy majig planned for. You're on there. Test it out.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Okay, there. You're on mic 3.
Okay.
They had the putt and pub crawl. That we're back to local now, everybody. So if you're, I want the letting the affiliates know down the line that we're back to the local conversation.
Stop leaning into me.
Sorry, which is usually a fundraiser for like 10 community organizations.
Yeah.
Let me read them off. Go ahead, say something. I'm trying to find all my paperwork.
Well, I
I'm
was
so
talking with
disorganized.
some friends over here. Their son works for Delta.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about flying, and then they were in a hurry to go
Yeah.
because their parking was going to expire. And I said, oh, well, don't you have that app, the passport app? And they said, yeah, they do, but you can't use it to re-up your parking. And I'm like, well, that makes no sense. What would be the point of
So
having
you
it?
can just pay once and that's it?
Well, and then they said, because there's the 2-hour limit, they have to, no matter what, go back, move their car to another parking
Oh my
spot.
God, that's asinine.
Yes.
So you can only pay for 2 hours and then you
Right.
move your spot to it. What if there's no other spot?
Then I guess
Oh my
you're
God,
out
that's
of
the
luck.
dumbest thing I ever
so
heard.
why have an app except it saves you going to the little meter thing? But the point, like I think in Naples, you just keep
Right. You just
you
keep putting money in the app.
putting money in, but because those have a 2-hour limit.
All right. You told the story twice now.
Crazy.
So the organizations that the Putt and Pub Crawl benefit every year, and they had a corporate sponsor this year. And I understand that you can't do the holes outside. And I mean, I get all that, but the Fort Myers Beach Women's Club, the Community Foundation, the Beach Lions, the library, the Wonder Gardens, your favorite place.
Mhm.
The Art Association, Lover's Key, the PTO, and Turtle Time. And I think did I mention the Art Association? I want to make sure I don't leave anybody out. So they usually raise, I don't know, $10,000-$15,000, and they kind of split it amongst the organizations. And, you know, people play putt-putt and they drink and they donate money, and then they get drunker, so they donate more money, which is a great concept because, you know, once you get to the eighth hole,
raffles too.
and they have raffles and the whole thing. So what we're going to do is we decided, instead of just complaining that Roger wouldn't give him the permit, and my thought was, instead of just saying, no, you can't have the permit, couldn't you just say to them, listen, don't have the holes in the right of way, and maybe you can do this or that, but let's try and keep some semblance of this great fundraiser alive so that you can raise some amount of money for the organizations, instead of just, you know, saying you can't do it at all, you can't have the permit, I'm sticking it back in my drawer here because I'm King Roger. And so we just decided that we were going to come up with a modified version of it, which involves no golf and involves social distancing and involves mask wearing, but we're going to go from bar to bar. In all of the holes that were originally scheduled will be the bars that are participating, and that is Nervous Nellies, Yucatan, Peach Timeout, Mangaritas, La Ola, Salty Crab, The Mermaid, Shuckers, and Matanzas. And we're going to start at 11 o'clock at Nervous Nellies, and then we're going to grab everybody's cash and I'm going to put it in a fishbowl, and then we're going to go to the next one and we're going to spend a little money. So we still want to spread some money out. So bring a lot of singles, bring a lot of fives, bring a lot of tens, bring your checkbook. I'll have my thing, the credit card. What was it? Remember we used to do that for Flag for the Square? I'll take your credit card, and I'll just take your credit card and give it back to you on Monday if that's what you want to do. And the guys at the Fort Myers Tiki Tours were nice enough. Do you have the bucket ready? Where is the bucket? She's got one job, ladies and gentlemen.
All the cards.
One job. We're going to hold that. We're going to pick a place where we can give away it's 90 minutes on the Fort Myers Tiki Tours. And what I asked my wife to do, before she had to put her lipstick on, was to put all the cards together, and we're going to do the drawing for the 90 minutes at that location and give the tour away. So we're going to have one of Stu's kids, come on over. Come on down, guys. And we need you to pick out something out of this bucket. All right. Here's where we're going to give away the 90-minute tour on Fort Myers Tiki Tours. Go ahead, dear. Enough already.
He's got one.
Oh, you got it? Let's see what you got. This is where we're going to do the drawing.
You can't look.
You can't look. No cheating. You cheat. Every year you come on the show, you cheat like that. Why do you do that? All right. You got a sugar.
Try again.
All right. You know, there was a guy here this morning who put 5 sugars in his coffee. It was totally disgusting. And
one piece of paper.
All right. 1 piece of paper. And it is the Mermaid. Yes. So we're going to pull the winner out for the can you shut the heater off finally? It's like 70 degrees out here. I feel the sweat running down my pits. How you guys doing? All right. So tell everybody this is your 3rd appearance on the show. What are you guys' names?
Nolan.
Eli. What?
Eli.
What's up with your hair, man? What happened there? You having a bad hair day? Did you forget the comb or something? Look at your hair there. Look at his hair. His hair's perfect, and he's got a hat on. What's up with your brother's hair?
Well, he's got a big hockey flow there.
He's got a what? A hockey what?
Hockey flow.
Oh, he's got a hockey flow. I don't know what that means. Is that something you find on Twitter or something?
It's hockey here.
Hockey here. Did you have a hockey game last night? Are you going to talk into the mic, or are you just going to look into the camera? I mean, you're looking for girls or something? Talking to the microphone. Say it. All right.
No.
You have a girlfriend?
No.
No, not yet. You're too young for that? You have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Oh, nice. How old are you?
9.
9. So 6. What's your girlfriend's name?
Ruby.
Yeah, that was my mom's name. No, it wasn't. My mom's name wasn't Ruby. I made that up.
Girlfriend's name is Savannah.
Oh, Savannah. Your girlfriend's name Savannah?
No. Ruby.
Oh, you have 2 girlfriends. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. All right. So, what are you guys doing? You're down here for how long?
We were down here for a week, and tomorrow we're leaving, and we were here since last Saturday.
Does your dad have tinfoil hats at the house? Does he have a collection of tinfoil hats?
No.
Have you ever seen your dad wear a tinfoil hat?
No.
No? Do you know that your dad's a little loud? He's a little out there with the craziness stuff? Or
yes.
Did you guys vote for Trump?
No. Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you think the election was stolen?
Yes.
Oh, how come you thought the election was stolen?
Because Biden put he voted for himself.
He voted for himself? That son of a bitch. I hate when people. Oh, sorry. I mean to say that in front of the kids. So you're not a big Biden fan?
No.
Why?
not
You
at all.
you're afraid of socialism?
No, because he doesn't like white people.
Oh, I'm gonna have to edit that part out. All right. So, hockey. You like hockey? Do you play a lot of hockey, you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you play? Do you play any other sports?
Baseball.
Baseball. I'm a big baseball.
I play t-ball.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna watch the football games?
We don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Who's your favorite football player?
Mine is Aaron Rodgers.
You can't talk at the same time. Nobody can hear what you're saying.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron, what's your favorite player?
Packers.
Packers. Oh, okay. Awesome. So yeah, Green Bay's got a good team this year.
Yeah, they do.
All righty. So anything else you want to tell your girlfriend or your fans or anything? Yeah. Oh, you're smiling finally. Have you guys kissed yet? No, don't answer that. That's it's too young for that. Yeah.
No.
Have you hold hands at all?
No.
Yeah. How much money does your dad make?
A lot.
Yeah. How much you thinking? 100,000?
Maybe trillion.
Oh, that's a lot. Wow. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and have a safe trip back to, where do you live again? In
Red Wing, Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Yeah. All righty. Well, it was a pleasure having you on. Will you be back next year for year number 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 4.
Number 4. All right. Thank you, guys. Yeah, fix your hair. Go get a comb or something. Will you?
Go cut your hair.
Cut your hair. Thank you, guys. All right. Stu's kids, they're lovely kids. Everybody, you should have a couple if you have a chance. So, all
How
right.
great is this book that
Yeah,
he gave
super
us?
nice book, everybody. Well, we ran a little over today, and sometimes when you run over, things happen that really shouldn't happen. But it was a lovely show, and we should have Stu on more often, like
Yeah.
maybe once a year.
As long as he doesn't call at 3 a.m.
No, I know a lot of people feel the way those guys do, and I'm not poo-pooing it. I just want to. I like to get the conversation
I didn't
out
hear
there.
it. I was over there hobnobbing.
All right, kids. Yes, kids say the darndest things. All right, everybody, and we're signing off from Milky White America here on Fort Myers Beach, and you all have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you some.